Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Libra March 2023 weekly Tarot Bite reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. So hi, everyone, and welcome. We are going to be going ahead and taking a look at the energies for the week. Now, this is a mini reading. It's about 10 to 15 minutes in length. If you wanted to look at the expanded illumination reading for the month, you can go to my channel and find that for each one of the signs. So we are going to be looking first at the theme, the overarching theme for the week ahead. Then we're going to be looking at a doorway that's opening up for you, Libra, that Spirit is asking you to walk through, to continue you on your personal path to spiritual growth, awareness, and illumination of your spiritual importance. The why. Why are you here as you? So this is interesting. I think Taurus got the same card this week. So you might have a Taurus placement. You might share a lot of energy with Taurus. But this is a beautiful energy for the week ahead. Cow spirit. The miracles are endless. Number 15, breaking down to the number 6, which is the energy of love. I always look at it too as the energy of what we can bring in our physical experience, our manifestation ability when we do so from the energy of love. So if you notice in this card, this is a cow, but it is so very beautiful. And it's interesting that both you and Taurus will get the same card because Libra, both you and Taurus are signs that are ruled by Venus. So you tend to share a lot of that Venusian energy, that creative energy, really being able to harness beauty and manifest it in the physical. So that would make sense that both of you are really sitting in this Venusian energy this week. I'm going to pull the book that comes with this. We'll read the message and then we'll dive deeper into the reading for you guys here. Okay, so we have Cow Spirit. The miracles are endless. Oracle message. You are at a beautiful point in your life today, for your needs are being met effortlessly and in so many ways. Fully embrace this truth by focusing on all you have right now, including the positive relationships that sustain you, the work you are proud to do to contribute to the world, and the activities that inspire you and nourish your soul. Cow Spirit nudges you to pay attention because this is the perfect time to focus on the choices, actions, and behaviors that you know feed your soul and bring your heart contentment. Now is also the time when you will see many of your projects and commitments that were set in motion in the past begin to yield valuable gifts that will bring you joy and love and sustain you for a long time to come. Stay positive and share your well-being with others. The more you share, the more you will manifest, so be generous. Cow Spirit promises you will never run out of miracles. I love this. And I love that there's a really kind of pointed message here of now is also the time when you will see many of your projects and commitments that were set in motion in the past begin to yield valuable gifts that will bring you joy and love and sustain you for a long time to come. For those of you who have maybe felt like it's been a little difficult, I mean, I think we've all kind of been there. In the months previous to now, there's been a lot of changes, a lot of energy shifts, but a lot of times, and I speak to this a lot, I'm curious to see if the Six of Pentacles might come up for you guys here or your card itself, Libra, which is the Justice card. That's you in the tarot. But there's a feeling here of this week will be a week for many of you to realize the return of a past investment where you just you thought, well, I put so much time and energy towards that and, I never really got the full reward. We can work and just not see a return on our investment. And yet years later, suddenly we see it. It all kind of comes into view. Now I'm going to use my own personal experience, my own example that I bring up my own story a lot of the time, but it's a way for me to be able to relate these messages. So for instance, I was previously married, in that past relationship, I put a lot of time and energy into trying to build a home, trying to create a loving relationship with another individual. And I did a lot of a lot of investment, my financial, emotional, my time. And yet it all came to nothing in the end. When I finally had to walk away from the relationship, I had to walk away with no home. I left most of my belongings. And it was one of those things where it's like, really, after all that time and energy, nothing? But yet now, years later, I have a wonderful, loving husband. I have the family life. I have the beautiful home. And so all that time and energy I put over here that seemed to not reap a reward was truly rewarded. And I am a big believer in that there is always a return on investment between or from the energy or money or however we choose to view an investment. That there's always a return on the investment, but it's not always in the way that we expect, and it's not always in the time that we hope for. So keep that in mind. There may be something that you tried to do in the past and it all came to nothing. Or it may, this can be like where we maybe go back to school and we get this degree and we put all this time and energy and money into that, and then we just never saw a return on that investment. We were never able to get a job in the field that we went back to school for, and now suddenly that skill set may be called forth. Maybe now you get that opportunity to really utilize that what do you call it? Sorry guys, degree, or you name it. There might have been something, again, you had tried in the past, tried to do a creative endeavor, but yet somehow there was a little seed. And this might be the week where you get to really plant, you get to see the seed, not only that it was planted, but that now it's sprouting up and you're like, oh, here it is, the start of the return on my investment. Now, Ace of Cups is a beautiful energy to come in, because when we think about if we have a seed and it's sprouting, what do we want to do? We want to water it. We want to water it with what? With our soul, with the love that we have for ourselves and the divine. The Ace of Cups is a wonderful energy. This is the energy of the portal of the door that Spirit is asking you to focus your gaze on. So you're being asked to focus with the number 6 coming in too over here with the energy of love. You're being asked to focus through the portal of love and joy. Ace of Cups can speak to a new love as well in your life. So keep that in mind for those of you who are potentially looking for a new partner. But this could also just be a renewal of love, and it's going to come through when you really look through the lens of love, of what you love, of how you love, of the needs you need to have met to feel joyous. That was another message of this card when you think about it, is saying really focus this week on the things that bring you happiness, joy, and love. And the more you focus on that, the more you're going to realize, I think, that something is coming in here, whether it's another individual, whether it's just love and support, or whether there is now something coming to fruition that you can really almost love into existence. So I'm going to pull a Power of Surrender card here now, and this is going to be where Spirit's asking you to have the courage to walk through this new doorway of love. Okay, what does Libra need to know about where they need to be courageous this week? Now, I do have a Libra placement in my moon sign is in Libra. I work a lot with Libra energy. I actually have quite a few air placements, so I love when I get the chance to really engage with the things in alignment with Libra, which are beauty, which is fairness, which is really speaking to balance. It's when we think of our moon sign, I actually did a video on this for those of you who are interested, but our moon sign really speaks to who we are authentically. It speaks to our soul. And often this is the part of ourself where we can hold the most emotional wounding, because we try to show this part of ourselves, and it can often be misunderstood. And it's something that we become much more in alignment with the older that we get, the more we mature and the more we go through life experiences as to how to best integrate that part of ourselves in with our other birth chart placements. So it might be an extra message for many of you to maybe take a look at your birth chart, see what your moon sign might be, and that might be an extra message for you, an extra moment of aha and awareness. But If not, we will continue on with your reading, Libra. We have surrender denial. It says, accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decisions. Now, I do like this card because when we think about, kind of stepping into love or embodying the energy of love, or when things are finally starting to kind of bloom for us, sometimes there will be people in our life who don't support us or don't support the new things that are coming into our life, that are now, with the seeds that we had planted before, that now are finally coming to fruition, that we have to really understand that some people, it says, accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. There may be people who don't want, and it sounds sad to say this, there may be people who don't want those things to bloom for you because maybe you connected with another individual during a time of lack, and now suddenly things are blooming for you, and that person might be jealous, or that person might not be able to just simply empathize with what you're experiencing because they're not in the same cycle or at the same level or going through the same circumstances. It also might be that at this point in time, you might be, again, really, really in this kind of suspended state of love, that there might be someone coming in that is going to level up your life in some way. And there may be difficulties in pursuing that. It could simply be those difficulties of maybe you meet someone and they live on the other side of the country, and there are going to be true, this can be where you have to get very clear about what that's going to entail, that you might have to, spend the money to go back and forth. You might have to have that long distance relationship for a while, and to not be in denial about that, to realize what that's going to look like for you, and to really integrate that into how you pursue this, not to walk away from it simply because, well, that's just going to be too hard for me. Or where, again, with accepting people and situations as they are, some people might not be able to meet you where you are right now. And that can allow you to see very clearly that if people can't meet you where you are right now, well, then sometimes we go through relationship shifts, and it's time for that, us to walk away from that. But to not be in denial that whatever is coming in, possibly a new opportunity or a new seed sprouting, to not turn your back on that simply because you're in denial of what's happening around you. Or the reverse, that you're going full steam ahead and not really looking at the situation, the circumstances, and the people around you, that you might have to do a little bit of changing things up. You might have to sit down with your partner and say, I'm getting this creative opportunity over here, or a job opportunity, and I know that this might make you worried about money, or I know that this might change where we live. So how can we together, through the lens of love, really allow me to pursue this opportunity, this return on my investment, whatever it is that brings you happiness, joy, and love. But I do like that it's almost, when you see this individual, she has a blindfold on. It's almost like taking that blindfold off, seeing things for what they are. And if you do have to change relationships, or you do have to sit down and have that hard conversation of, this might change our experience in some way, but I really do want to focus on pursuing this, well, then don't be afraid to do that. This is what Spirit's having you really say. This is the courage to do this, to fully turn around and face the full extent of your experience, the people in it, and then to find a way to move forward, to still continue on this energy of love. Okay. And I do like that it says miracles are endless. I do feel like that is a big message here, that, sometimes we look at something and we say, I have no idea how I'm going to be able to do that. Or I didn't realize that this was going to manifest in this way. And it might be that, again, you might see it as miraculous, where all of a sudden you realize, like, oh my gosh, I tried to do something all this time, and now somebody's picked it up and says, I want to, pay you X amount of money for that. And you're like, I never in a million years thought that that is what would happen with this little writing piece I did, or I painted a picture and I left it hanging in, some gallery forever, and suddenly someone wants to pay me the full amount for it, something along those lines. But it can also be too, where that miracle element is just how things seemed to have fallen apart before and how now they're coming in such a better way for you. So it says awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration, which is wonderful. So this is your point of contemplation. This is where Spirit would like you to take this message and meditate on it throughout the week, so you can really kind of ground yourself, so you can see this doorway of some opportunity that's coming in, the incoming abundance, the return on your investment, because that's the portal. That's where that you want to be focused through this energy of love. And I like that it says energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. And I think from my own personal experience, this is true. A lot of times we can't see the initial return on our investment because we weren't the person we needed to be at that time for the reward that wanted to come in. And so we had to kind of go through this process of getting to that level and truly being in a new way of being, for us to then integrate all of that to be at the right space to allow for this reward to come in, to allow for the true return on the investment we had put in over here. So keep that in mind, Libra. I'm going to leave it there. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead. I will be posting the more expanded illumination reading for the month of April for each sign next week. That's about 30 to 40 minutes in length, and we go much deeper into the reading and for the themes for the month ahead. If you're interested, you can subscribe and you'll be able to see as soon as I post those. All right. Bye, Libra.